distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the officers, non-commissioned officers, soldiers, and civilians of Medical Readiness Command East and Defense Health Network East, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the Lyster Army Health Clinic Change of Command ceremony. Today, we bid farewell to Lieutenant Colonel Garrett W. Holt and welcome Lieutenant Colonel Leah M. Steder. The host for today's ceremony is Brigadier General Lance Rainey, Commander, Medical Readiness Command East, and Director, Defense Health Network East. Joining us today from the USACE Command Group are Major General Michael C. McCurry, Commanding General, U.S. Army Aviation Center of Excellence and Fort Novosel, Mr. Robert C. Dewar, Deputy to the Commanding General, Mrs. Sue Corsero, spouse of Chief Warrant Officer Michael A. Corsero, Chief Warrant Officer of the Aviation Branch, Command Sergeant Major and Mrs. Kirk R. Cooley, Command Sergeant Major of the Aviation Branch. Also joining us are the Honorable Mark Blankenship, Mayor of Ozark, the Honorable Bobby Borland, Mayor of Pinkert, the Honorable William Cooper, Mayor of Enterprise, Mr. Michael D. Schmitz, Civilian Aide to the Secretary of the Army, as well as fellow brigade and battalion commanders, command sergeants major, and senior enlisted advisors, chief warrant officers, family, and friends joining us here today and abroad for the Holt and Steder family. The official party for this ceremony consists of the host for today's ceremony, Brigadier General Lance C. Rainey, the outgoing commander, Lieutenant Colonel Garrett Holt, and the incoming commander, Lieutenant Colonel Leah Steder. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the invocation given by Chaplain Mike Rhodes and the singing of the national anthem by Specialist Deriki Linnaeus.
Let us pray. Almighty God, to you we offer the lives of every professional man and woman within the Lyster family. These warriors serve our nation through blood, sweat, and tears. Thank you for these indispensable warriors, and may their character be the foundation of our future. We remember to you Lieutenant Colonel Holt for his service as Lyster commander. His service and dedication are welcomed. We ask for continued blessing upon his leadership as he transitions, and may the Holt family depart with abundant blessing and peace. Now we lift to you our new commander, Lieutenant Colonel Steder. We ask for successful integration into our family and operations. Grant rich blessings and guide her with abundant wisdom to weather the storms of our mission. Grant a backbone of integrity as she guides our warriors as an exemplar model and mentor. May the sacred leadership opportunity be accepted in fullest trust and responsibility. Lastly, we ask that you would bless and guide the work of every warrior and leader protecting and serving our great nation. May you guard their hearts and minds and spirits from their exhaustive and life-giving work. Even more so, protect every precious life and heart behind the shield. In your name I pray, amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Chaplain Rhodes and Specialist Aeneas. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. On behalf of the soldiers and families of Lyster Army Health Clinic, a token of appreciation will now be presented to Lieutenant Colonel Holt's family. Specialist Celeste Teubner is presenting his wife, Mrs. Alice Holt, a bouquet of red roses, thanking her for all of her support and devotion to the Lyster family over the past 24 months. A single red rose is being presented to his daughter, Brooklyn, and an aviation teddy bear is being presented to his son, Nathaniel. Specialist Caleb Rutherford is now presenting yellow roses to Lieutenant Colonel Steder's mother, Mrs. Kathy Steder, as a token of appreciation to celebrate a new beginning and her arrival as the newest member of the Lyster Army Health Clinic family. Ceremonies have added color and pageantry to military life while preserving tradition and stimulating esprit de corps. Today's ceremony is a reflection of procedures practiced since the dawn of our nation. Today, you will witness a small part of that tradition as Brigadier General Rainey presides over the change of command between Lieutenant Colonel Holt and Lieutenant Colonel Steder. The change of command ceremony is an event that is rich with symbolism and heritage. The focus of the ceremony is the passing of the unit's colors. These colors represent not only the lineage and honors of the unit, but also the loyalty and unity of its members. The colors are the commander's symbol of authority and represent their responsibilities to the organization. Wherever the commander is, there too are the colors. Historically, the colors served as the point around which the soldiers of the unit rallied as they moved forward into battle. All others of the organization might perish, but the colors live on forever. And so, with the transfer of the colors goes the transfer of command. Today, the Lyster Army Health Clinic's Senior Enlisted Advisor, Sergeant Major Meredith Green, the custodian of the colors, will pass the colors to the outgoing commander, Lieutenant Colonel Garrett Holt, for the last time, signifying that the organization is trained and ready for the transition of command. Lieutenant Colonel Holt then relinquishes his command by passing the colors to the Commanding General, United States Army Medical Readiness Command East, Brigadier General Lance C. Rainey. Brigadier General Lance C. Rainey then passes the colors and hence the command to the incoming commander, Lieutenant Colonel Steder. By authority of Army Regulation 600-20, paragraph 2-3, the undersigned assumes command of Lyster Army Health Clinic effective the 6th of June, 2024, signed Leah Steder, Lieutenant Colonel, Medical Service Corps, Commanding. This time-honored tradition is complete when Lieutenant Colonel Steder passes the colors back to the Senior Enlisted Advisor, charging her with maintaining the symbol of command. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commanding General, United States Army Medical Readiness Command East, Brigadier General Lance C. Rainey.
I'm leveraging technology here. Okay, General McCurry, thanks for the great support you have shown our commander over the last 2 years. Thanks for the education he has been provided, not just from the aviation community, but from the team at large. To the community, thanks for the support to this commander. As I look around today, to be honest, Lyster is not a gigantic clinic, but this is a huge crowd, which speaks to a couple of things. One, to the work that Team Holt, I'm just gonna call it Team Holt, that Team Holt has done during their time here, but also the support that you are providing to him and the team at Lyster. So thank you very much. Thanks to all of you for being here to support Army Medicine and the Defense Health Agency as we recognize the outgoing and incoming dual-hatted Army Commander and DHA Director of Lyster Army Health Clinic. But before I discuss the commanders, let me start with where they actually started, and that's with their parents. So for Garrett, we have Jim and Stuart that are here today, prior MSC officer, and for Leah, we have Kathy, and here in spirit is also her father, Doug. You are the groundwork, and rather you laid the groundwork for these two soldiers. I realize that their morality, their standards, their work ethic began at home many years ago. So thank you for developing your children, now our team members, our soldiers, to be the leaders that they are today. I realize there's also several brothers, sisters here in person and virtually. Great work too, but I'm gonna highlight mom and dad today, and that's it. So for the team, it's great to be back on Fort Novosel. This is only my third visit here, the home of Army Aviation. And as I get to know the installation and the people that are part of this installation better, I've come to realize Novosel is not just the home of Army Aviation, but an Army home for the aviation community. Soldiers and their families, they come here, they train, they leave, they go all over the world, they come back, they train some more, they leave, they come back. Some people come back and they retire here and they never leave again. And every time they come back, they run into old friends and they make new. Over time, the home aspect of Novosel has begun to extend well beyond the real estate that exists here in Alabama and includes wherever Army aviators and others find themselves assigned across our planet. So it's a special place indeed, made special by the amazing people that embrace and perpetuate a culture of team and purpose. Garrett and Alice Holt are among the special and amazing people that define Novosel now. I think as you saw as part of the award ceremony just a few minutes ago, that rings to be true. So my job is to help you understand why they're special. So what makes them special? So I've already mentioned nature and nurture. That's mom and dad. That's the work that was done early on in their life. Although I failed to mention, and I got to back up here, because there's a Team Holt, Alice, I need to recognize your beginnings as well with Tom and Sandra. So I know they're here as well. You are a vital part of the team. What they did in support of you is terrific. So great work with Alice, Tom, and Sandra. But I'm going to start with Garrett now. So how many are familiar with the soldier talent profile? Used to be the ORB. I didn't like it at first. You know, this is where ORB just kind of facts and stuff. Soldier talent profile, you get to add some subjective comments in there. You get to self-profess what your strengths are and who you are. So I often read those. So I want to tell you about Garrett Holt's self-professed strengths. Right off his soldier talent profile, verbatim. I seek to be present, competent, efficient, and a leader of great character. Our soldiers deserve nothing less. Do you remember putting that in, going into the thing and doing that, Garrett? Garrett, I do believe, and I'm certain that the majority, if not all, who are in this room today would agree with your self-assessment and that you have delivered true on those words. As I consider all you have done during your time here as the commander and director at Lyster, you certainly have demonstrated competence and efficiency. But not just efficiency without the compromise of effectiveness. So one of the greatest measures of efficiency and effectiveness, for that matter, is taking what you have and doing more with what you have. That's clearly evident as you are starting to enroll 3,000 additional families. And here at Lyster, that's retirees, family members, and the family members of retirees as well. So, you know, we have many metrics that we follow. That metric is green for you, and it's got a big asterisk on it as well. Because that asterisk, and if you look down at the bottom of the page, virtual page I'm talking about now, right? It says, very few MTF directors have been able to accomplish growth in the challenges of the environment, in the healthcare environment, both within the military and externally, that we have faced over the past few years. MHS transition, MHS genesis. I'm looking for some PTSD from the pharmacy lines as I look across the crowd. There's some there. A shortfall of healthcare personnel across the enterprise, not just within the military, but within healthcare in general. And then with the economy the way it is, our ability to compete for the limited inventory that's out there. Even in the face of that, you have been able to not just take what you have and continue mission forward, but you have been able to take it and move it in a direction that has allowed growth. Also, as the Installation Director of Health Services, you integrated and synchronized all of the Army medicine resources across Novosel, because there are some pretty mature Army medicine officers, also known as older Army medicine officers, senior Army medicine officers that are part of this community. And you've been able to bring them in a consolidated and integrated effort to ensure that the soldiers of Novosel and the community that surrounds them are supported. You codified all of this so it would live beyond your time as command in the form of an installation health service support plan, as well as a functioning installation senior medical council. Your commitment to being present is also clear. Not only are you seen within your organization and do you lead through your command, but you influence, and certainly influence it in the virtual space, well beyond the walls of Lyster. And even Alabama, for that matter. Has anyone ever heard the podcasts that Garrett puts together? Okay, good. During his time as part of Lyster, Garrett and his team, it's a team effort. They put together podcasts, and these podcasts, I'll go in and listen to them. They're terrific. They've been developmental for his staff, and I would also say not just developmental, but therapeutic as time, as I've listened through some of them. But these are listened to by people all across within Army medicine, all across my command. And then if you look at the listing, literally all across the world. So outstanding presence, well beyond that. And when it comes to our soldiers deserve nothing less, Garrett, you have given your soldiers, your civilians, your supported commands and the community much more, and much more than most are capable of giving. Garrett, you not only leave the Lyster Army Health Clinic a better place, you leave a staff led to purpose and a Novosel aviation family with improved health and well-being. Of course, everybody in this room realizes you didn't do this alone. You have an outstanding staff at Lyster who are engaged and have embraced the purpose that is to be found through healthcare. And you have led them to be a team. They have embraced the ownership of healthcare and the readiness of the mission, and they get better at it every day. Now, in doing all this great work, most people realize that you had an advantage that today is sitting next to you in a blue dress. It's a significant advantage, an advantage so powerful that those without such advantage might even consider it unfair. Well, that's too bad, right? Alice, you are his advantage. Just as Garrett has embraced the mission in this community, you have done the same. And I would dare say that you have done more. He's just a commander and a director. You're the damn president. I don't know if you guys realize this, president of the school board, on pretty much every committee that you could ask that needs help, that needs assistance, that drives our community in the right place. Alice, you have been a part of that. And it is, in addition to all that, you've been a great mom as well. Alice, thank you for what you have done in support of the Novosel family, and thank you what you will continue to do in the future in support of your soldier in our Army. So, Team Holt, as you make your way towards the hardship tour of a year at Navy War College, it's well earned, I'll give you that one. Thanks for giving our soldiers what they deserve. Thanks for your commitment. Thanks for your leadership. Thanks for a job well done, please. Colonel Leah Steder, no pressure there. Obviously some big shoes to fill here. Look at this crowd. This crowd is also here in support of you and your team. Without question, as I look at your past performance, it tells me we are privileged to have you joining the MRC East and Defense Health Network East team. You bring a wealth of experience in prior assignments across the operational units and the operational force, as well as strategic headquarters. Your talent and commitment are clearly evident, not only in what you profess in your STP, and I'm not going to go through that. You only get that at the back end of your command, okay? I won't pull things out. But it's professed in the words of those leaders who you have worked for and with. And I have been engaged without asking from those leaders, reassuring me that you will be an outstanding director and commander here at Lyster. So you have our confidence, and I am confident that you too will rapidly become a family member of the Novosel and surrounding community. I'm also confident that the great work that has been done over the last 2 years at Lyster will continue as you expand enrollment and continuously improve the quality care and provide the quality of the care that we provide to those we serve. You're joining a great team. So this is my initial guidance. Start your command with patience. That's the calm patience, not patients that we see in the clinic. Although that's important too, we need those. Learn from the many experienced civilians that know and understand Novosel and Lyster and the mission that we're here to perform. They grasp it. They've been doing it for years. They know the history. They know what works and they know what doesn't work. They have been repeatedly educated, unfortunately, in some cases, as they have lived through the good, the bad, and the ugly of the good idea fairy that often whispers into the ear of leadership. Even worse, sometimes they live through the good idea fairy's comments when she has amnesia and she makes the same recommendation that we know didn't work previously. And as they have suffered through that good and bad and ugly, they understand where we need to go. Our civilians are the continuity of what we do. They help us achieve great by ensuring that what we do is good consistently and good over time. Leah, I look forward to the great things to come here at Lyster. I'm excited to have you on the team. Thank you for your willingness to lead. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for taking care of our people. Combat ready care, this will defend.
Ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing commander, Lyster Army Health Clinic, Lieutenant Colonel Garrett Holt.
I got real nervous, sir, when you started talking STP. I don't remember when I wrote in that thing last. Well, first of all, Chaplain, thanks for bringing in this great weather in this museum today. It's really nice. Helps keep my glasses from being fogged up. And so if you know if they're fogged up, it's for other reasons, but we're going to get to it. Since we're inside, too, I appreciate Command Sergeant Major Coley. I talked to him. I said, do I get 30, 40, 50 minutes? He said, no, 10. Get to it. So off we go. Major General McCurry, Brigadier General Mrs. Rainey, leaders, fellow mayors and community leaders, commanders, thank you for being here. Families, friends of Lyster Army Health Clinic and the Wiregrass. Wow, they say it goes fast. I feel like yesterday I was right here taking the colors, getting the cell phone, signing some policies, and then quickly calling the lawyers about whatever was going on at that moment, and also getting the in-brief on MHS Genesis. Hey, when you're the MTF commander, you get asked pretty frequently, or at least by your peers, why in the world someone would choose to lead an MTF. It's imposing and it's scary. It's very complicated. Some would say it's as complicated as skippering a ship, so I think that's why I'm going to Naval War College. But hey, an MTF can be filled with a lot of complexity and unknowns, and I'll talk a little bit about that as we go through this. When you finish command, there's a lot to be thankful for. Gratitude just seems not only the right thing to be in a place of, but it's the only place. So first, I want to thank the Lord for setting this course before me and really supporting me along the way. It has been an absolute blessing in my life to lead this fine organization. I want to quickly get to my wife, and I only can peek up at her once and wink, but to thank her for her love and support through our entire career. She knows this was my dream job, and we are here, baby, and I really appreciate all your support. I want to also thank all my family and my friends for showing up, some of which came all the way from Texas, so thank the team for coming over here. Couldn't do it without you. You supported me along the way. I also want to thank my kiddos. Nate, I guess there's only one way to thank you, and thanks for bringing the noise, brother. In all honesty, our family needed you. Your personality was the spice in our family, and if spice was a personality, I'm convinced it'd be a Carolina Reaper. Hey, Brooklyn, you've grown in so many ways during our time here. I've seen your leadership and courage and love, and I think you've also grown about 24 more inches, so I think you're going to be But you've helped answer the age-old question in terms of leadership of nature versus nurture, and honey, you got it. Lieutenant General Isagiri and Brigadier General Rainey, thank you for trusting me in command, but more importantly, thank you for supporting us through tribulation. It was significant. The turbulence was very, very real, and it was palatable, and it was right in our face. And all the way up until the end, we have much adversity, and I've learned a lot about what it means to be a supportive leader based off of your mentorship. So thank you, sir, and also, ma'am, if you're listening virtually. Major General McCurry, I also want to thank you. Your character inspires, and your intellect assures, and your presence is significant. It's not just your presence, sir, it's how you come. It's not just you're there, it's who you bring. I got to tell the rest of this audience that there's one thing about showing up, but it's another thing to say, I got your back. And I'm convinced that in this community, and USACE, under General McCurry's leadership, a problem for one is a problem for all, and we're all in the fight together. And I got to tell you that when we were at our heyday in the most, I guess, well-occupied pharmacy waiting rooms, General McCurry and his commanders and his command sergeants major and his chief warrant officers and everyone was in our pharmacy talking to our people, talking to our patients. Please give USACE a round of applause. I also want to thank Miss McCurry. I know she was unable to be here, but she gave me a big hug a little bit ago or earlier this week. Ma'am, your poise, leadership, and charm have guided the mighty band of spouses in a way that our clinic knows we have advocates in word and deed. And on a personal note, I want to thank you for supporting and mentoring Alice as well as guiding our family along the way. I also want to thank the USACE and Fort Novosel commanders, directors, leaders, garrison partners. I greatly appreciate you pulling me in as one of your own. Not once did I feel like an outcast. Not once did I feel like I wasn't part of the aviation community. Whether you're wearing this uniform or formerly wore it before, I felt every single day that I was part of this team. And sometimes that team may have been the average Joes, but sometimes in other places, I had to get a shot out, right? But in other places, it may be something like the Installation Senior Medical Council. And I have to tell you, for the USEROL team, the Department of Aviation Medicine, MECD, CRC, Dental Vet, and all the many aviation medicine leaders, I was a unicorn. I'm not a pilot, and I'm not an aerospace medicine or a flight surgeon. But for you to bring me in and to say this is the pathway to success has really helped shape the success of this facility. Deputy commanders for any MTF, that is the hardest job, I'm convinced, in the Army. You have to execute on executive strategy, you have to manage the daily operations, and more importantly, you are the punching bag for everyone on the installation, on every single issue. I want to thank Doug, Joe, Erica, Bart, Gina, and Blaine for taking us there. We have one medical company at Lyster, which means you get a lot of attention from the battalion command. And so I want to thank Captain Retired Renal Monroy, Captain Marissa Cadeloose, Master Sergeant Retired Carl Nicholson, Master Sergeant June Ma, and First Sergeant Richard Aguilar for your leadership and putting your soldiers first, every day, all day. I want to thank my mentors, General Solis, General Burke, Colonel Mon, Colonel Newland, Colonel Sproat, Colonel Laterza, Lieutenant Colonel Palacios, and Lieutenant Colonel Neese, retired. I want to thank you, and there's many, many more, but I know you all are watching today. The fellow MTF commanders across MRC East, thank you for your love and support and camaraderie. I also want to thank Lieutenant Colonel Simmons, my battle buddy. She is a huge advocate for this command, and even though I know she disagreed with some of the things that we were going forward with, she still made it seem like it was her own. So thank you for your advocacy, and I'm looking for our continued friendship. I had 3 senior enlisted advisors. I'm a better leader for it. Command Sergeant Major McLean, Master Sergeant Ma, and Sergeant Major Green. Thank you for your leadership. I've got more words for you offline, but I also want to highlight Sergeant Major Green on a personal note. You've been with me the past year. If you weren't aware, she had a tasking that was very important today that actually got postponed. And so I already got teared up once today when I found out that my Sergeant Major was going to be up here with me handing off the colors. So Godspeed, and I'm convinced that you were born with a Sergeant Major, but at least we got you pinned as soon as we could. So I'm going to miss our serious talks, but I'm mostly going to miss the laughs. To the Skunk Hollow encampment, where are we? All right, that's where I live, by the way. It's not a true encampment. on-post living and spirits can be a unique experience, but you really brought it. We replaced bumpers together, bandaged some scraped knees. We all, adults included, slid down a 35-foot water slide. Power outages, road grass, mateship, sensitive fire alarms, bee stings, block parties, and those overly pesky basketball goals. I want to thank you for all your help supporting us, not to mention helping to rear our kids, as well as helping us make sure that our little guy, codenamed the unit, survived. I guess I should say that we all survived the unit. Leah, you're taking command of the finest MTF ever made. I'm convinced of it. Our people make this operation amazing. The patients, the staff, and the supported commands alike. You'll find the challenge a reward within itself, because this community knows about gratitude. One of the things we worked on these 2 years is investing in our people, because our people inspire, motivate, and encourage. It might be Chantroy Hill, who helped ensure we kept the wheels running on flight medicine and OC Health. It's in the work of Tommy Springfield, our IMD rock star, Ryan and Dennis in facilities, Jacqueline Sheffield in radiology, bringing a new team up to speed. Don't worry, I'm not going to go through everybody. We'll get there. It's Sergeant First Class Ronk, who's pad to the bone. Or maybe a Rory Williamson, who seems to be involved in everything from O-Day to keeping us solvent. It's Janice Erdlitz, who shapes the narrative of health service on this post and is also the notable creator and producer of the Lyster Health Talks podcast. It's Staff Sergeant Williams from the pharmacy, who intervened with a suicidal patient. It's Sierra Creel and Mandy Kelly, Bridget Faulkner and Kim Walker, Reagan Williams and Julie Wood, Heather Goodson and Helen Wright, Shannon Sheffield and Viola Jones, Cindy Flowers and Deb Delk, Liz Gersney and Charlotte Ard, Phyllis Purdue, Pam Halsey, Specialist Teubner, and the list goes on and on and on. One of the fondest memories I have, as the General mentioned, is the Lyster Health Talks podcast. And he mentioned and highlighted to me that not only do you bring a lot of health promotion in this vicinity, but you get to highlight your great team. You can hear it in their words, and you can hear it in their competence, their character, but most of all, it's in their compassion. There are many critics of healthcare, particularly military healthcare. But those people don't speak for the rest of us. As Winston Churchill once said, there's something going on in time and space that whether or not we like it spells duty. So why did I want to be an MTF commander? Who wouldn't want to be in an organization with shared and unequivocal purpose? Who wouldn't want to work with professionals who have zero question of why they're here? Captain Stone, I want to thank you for this quote that you gave me that you didn't know that you gave me. But Captain Stone's one of our Army nurses. And I want to say, this is the quote she gave me. An 80-year-old man drove his scooter into my room, exam room, bragging about how well we treat our retirees here. And while he was here for the pharmacy, he spoke about all the other departments as well. He said he can tell we truly care about our people. This man drives almost 2 hours from Florida just to have the Lyster experience. I can't remember which hospital he was using prior, but he said it was worth the extra drive. Hearing this man talk was really eye-opening to some of the struggles our retirees face, and I hope the staff can understand how important Operation Welcome Home can be for our people. End quote. If you've seen some positive change over the past couple years, buckle up. They aren't done yet. Leah Steder is at the helm. You can only expect this organization to get better and better. There's no question over what we're supposed to do. It's how we do it. It makes this place not just great, but special. Some of us will come and go, but rest assured that our people will continue to provide the best care. They're going to bring you hope and be able to tell you as you walk through our doors, welcome home. Thank you again for attending Combat Ready Care. This will defend above the best, and the only way is forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander, Lyster Army Health Clinic, Lieutenant Colonel Leah Steder.
Major General McCurry, Brigadier General Rainey, Mrs. Rainey, mayors, fellow commanders, and community leaders, thank you for today to attending ceremony. I am pleased and touched that you have made the time to attend today's ceremony. Thank you, especially to my family and friends, for your mentorship and friendship over the years. It is my distinct privilege and honor to join the Lyster team and the Fort Novosel community. I appreciate the great responsibility bestowed upon me. I pledge to uphold the legacy and excellence for which Lyster has been known since it originally opened as the United States Army Hospital, Camp Rucker, just over 82 years ago. I was lucky enough to start my Army career in an aviation brigade, and I am extremely excited and happy to be back amongst an aviation community as part of Army medicine. Army aviation and Army medicine are essential partners in providing combat-ready care. Together, we provide life-saving care, evacuation, and treatment, allowing maneuver forces to maintain the initiative and continue to fight and win, knowing the best-trained medical forces will respond and save. I am so impressed with our Lyster soldiers and civilian employees. They have demonstrated in just the brief period during my transition with Lieutenant Colonel Holt how excellent you are at patient care, how much you care about the community, and how much you care about your craft. It has been very, very impressive to see. Lyster team, you should all be very proud. Garrett, thank you so much for the transition. You have left a legacy that will permeate throughout this community and the Wiregrass for years to come. Alice, thank you for your warm welcome and helping me get settled into the house. I wish you both the best luck in the next chapter of your Army career. You both will do amazing and have been very impressive. Thank you again for all of the support you've given me. I will close with a final quote from our namesake, Brigadier General Theodore Lyster, considered the father of aviation medicine. It is one thing to build machines and train men to fly them, but another to maintain these men and machines in the air by the constant supervision necessary. This quote underscores the hand-in-hand effort between Army medicine and Army aviation. It is the absolute pleasure to join and serve the Fort Novosel team and the Army community. Above the best, fly Army, combat-ready care, this will defend.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Army Song.
Well done. Take charge of the team.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. On behalf of the officers, non-commissioned officers, soldiers, and civilians of Lyster Army Health Clinic, thank you for attending. Please come forward to bid farewell to Lieutenant Colonel Holt and his family. Then please join us in the receiving line to the rear of the ceremony, behind the Huey helicopter, to welcome Lieutenant Colonel Steder and her family to Fort Novosel. A follow-on reception will be held for Lieutenant Colonel Steder at Lyster Army Health Clinic at 1500 and Victor 117. Combat-ready care, this will defend. Above the best, fly Army.